Hello everyone and welcome to the Collecting Investor. This is my very first video on YouTube and I'm very excited about it. In this first video we are going to take a look at Disney Lorcana, the brand new trading card game from Disney in cooperation with Ravensburger. The first chapter of Lorcana is released on the 18th of August in selected stores, not only in the United States but also on the European market. A little bit later, on the 1st of September, it made its appearance in the bigger retailers. Well, at least it should have, because almost immediately it was obvious that the supply would by far not be able to meet the demand. This being said, Disney already announced that several reprints are coming to not only the United States market, but also to Europe. So more product is on the way, and that's something that we can all be very happy about. In this video, we are going to dive into the investment potential of Disney Lorcana. But before we start, just a very small disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be considered as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor and you're always responsible for your own actions. That being said, let's immediately dive into it. Let's first have a quick look at the different products that have been released for Disney's Lorcana's first chapter. As you can see in front of you, there are 4 different types of products. The main product is of course the booster box, which has 24 booster packs and each booster pack contains 12 cards. The second product are the starter decks. There are 3 different options. You have Aurora and Simba, Cruella and Aladdin, and Viana and Mickey. Each starter deck contains 60 cards, including 2 foil cards from the characters that you see in front of the box. Also, you will be receiving 11 game tokens, a rulebook, and of course 1 booster pack containing 12 random cards. The third item in the list is the Eliminator's Trove, which is described as the ultimate box set containing everything not only players but also collectors need. The box includes the following items: a unique storage box, 2 deck storage boxes, 8 booster packs, 15 game tokens and 1 player's guide. Well, I'm not sure how it's at this moment on the American market, but I do know that these boxes in my country are almost impossible to get a hand of. Luckily, I was able to find one for my own collection, but that's also it. Last but not least, we also have the gift set. This pretty large and very nice looking box, by the way, contains not only 2 large glossy cards, but also 2 normal glossy game cards, 34 game tokens and 4 booster packs. There have been rumors that this set would not be reprinted, which would make it a very popular collector's item. Of course, as for now, these are only rumors, so the future will have to tell if that's actually the case or not. Before we are going to take a look at the rarest cards of the first chapter, I think it's a good idea to have a quick look at the very first cards that were released within the Disney Lorcana game. I'm talking of course about the special D23 Expo promos, which were exclusively available at the Disney D23 Expo. The set contains a total of 7 cards that not only feature the D23 Expo logo, but also a special first edition stamp. Besides those additions, the cards are exactly the same as the ones that can be found in the first chapter set itself. That was something that we could have expected, given the fact that nobody else than Lorcana's co-designer and brand manager Ryan Miller said in an interview, and I quote, "We will never do a promo card or collection that you can't also get out of the regular products." This means that promo cards will not have a unique artwork like they do have within the Pokemon TCG. Given the fact that these are the only Lorcana cards that will have the first edition stamp on them, I can really see them being very desirable going into the future. Now, if we take a quick look at the recent eBay sales on the moment I'm recording this video, we can see that a lot of these cards already appreciated in value pretty decently. The most common card of the D23 Expo promos is the Stitch one. We can see it here being sold in the United States for 333 euros. Then we have here the Mickey one, a raw copy of it, 952 euros in the United States. Cruella de Vil, 952 for a raw copy. Then we have some results from Europe as well. Here you have the Stitch D23 NPSA 10, 500 euro from Germany. Again, 500 euro in Germany. See if we have some other ones. Elsa back at 9, also Germany. A special shout out to my German followers. Hopefully I have them already. 800 euro for this card. As you can see, the Stitch is being sold pretty frequently. Again, 800 euro in Germany. Cruella de Vil, best offer accepted. Let's take a look if we also maybe have some full sets that are being sold through eBay. Yes, we have here on the 1st of September a full set. Well, not really the entire full set. Also, you have the Mickey one, but this is not included in this set. So this is only 6 out of the 7 promo cards. 19,040 euro being sold in the United States for a full set. Let's see if we have here, we have the Maleficent, Best Offer Accepted, back in 9 also. Again, a full set, Disney Lorcana D23 full collector set of 6 promo cards, PSA 10. Again, in the United States, of course, 18,088 euros. So yeah, as you can see, I think for the most serious collectors and investors in Disney Lorcana, I can really see these type of cards being possibly one of the best investments going into the future. But as always, my dear friends, this is not financial advice. That being said, let's take a look to the cards that are actually inside of this set. The first chapter of Lorcana contains 204 standard cards and 12 special enchanted rares. The first 6 of those 12 you can see in front of you and are following. You have Simba the Returned King, Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer, Aurora Dreaming Guardian, Elsa Spirit of Winter, again Mickey Mouse but now in an artful rogue edition, and we have the very nice and happy looking Stitch Carefree Surfer. Besides this 6, you also still have 6 different ones. That's Jimmy on the Job, Maui Hero to All, Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy, Aladdin Heroic Outlaw, Belle Strange but Special, and of course also Hades King of Olympus. Now together these cards form a very nice and unique collection on top of the 204 standard cards from the first chapter, but with several reprints coming up, I expect the prices on these cards to decline in the months to come. So if you did not complete your collection yet and you are willing to do that, then I think you are doing good to maybe hold off buying them for now and see what the prices will be doing in the next coming weeks and months. But anyway, I have to say that I like the art on these cards. My personal favorites are the Wayward Sorcerer Mickey Mouse and the Simba Returned King, but I will try to complete the full set, which at this moment unfortunately is still not the case. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about 2 tweets that the official Disney Lorcana account on Twitter or X published on the 31st of August. Just a bit after the launch of the game in selected shops and 1 day before the launch in the bigger retailers, the first tweet mentioned the following. Our goal is for fans to be able to purchase and enjoy the Disney Lorcana TCG product at the suggested retail price. And we will continue to take steps to ensure a level of availability and quality that keeps the market healthy for both collectors and players. Now, let's stand still with what they are saying here exactly. So first of all, it's important to realize that the success of any trading card game highly depends on the player base. With this in mind, it's absolutely necessary that they release more product of the first chapter, which they will obviously do. The reprints will make sure that more people will have the possibility to order products at or around retail price. We don't know exactly for sure if that price will be or will stay the exact same as the original MSRP. For sure in Europe I a little bit have my doubts about that, but let's hope that I'm wrong. Besides this, they also state literally that they want to make sure the market stays healthy for both players and collectors. Now I see a lot of messages on the internet of people starting or stating that the set will be printed into oblivion or into the ground. Well, given the fact that it's Disney, nothing can be said with 100% certainty, but I a little bit have my doubts about that. Not in the least because we will be having Chapter 2 already on the 17th of November and Chapter 3 has been announced for the first quarter of 2024. Now, I hope a lot more people get the chance to buy the product and I'm convinced it's necessary for the future of the game, but I really don't think that we will see such a huge amount hitting the market as some people expect. Of course, I can be wrong. The second tweet from the Disney Lorcana account mentioned the following. Additional booster product will start arriving in North American local game stores in October. We are also reprinting Disney Lorcana, the first chapter, which will be available starting in Q1 2024 in North America and on the European market. Now, as mentioned, the American market will get a big reprint already later this month, while Europe still has to wait until the first quarter of 2024. I'm also curious to see if all products will be reprinted or not. I've heard rumors from several sellers across Europe that the gift set will probably not be reprinted. Those are just rumors by now, so until they are officially confirmed, we will have to see if it turns out to be true or not. But it's maybe something going forward that you want to keep in mind. This brings us to the main question of this video. Is Disney's Lorcana investable or not? Well, a lot of things can be said about this. Let's first talk about the fact that the difference item don't have a plastic seal. This is one of the most talked about things under people that want to invest in sealed products. The fact that there is no plastic seal is for sure something to keep into consideration because it allows people to pretty easily tamper with especially the booster boxes. Now, investing in a sealed case with booster boxes adds a little bit more certainty, but of course even this is not risk-free. This could for sure hurt the value going into the future. This having said, I don't agree with people saying these items will not be worth anything. That's because of three simple reasons. First of all, I don't see the products being as mass-produced as everyone expects. Secondly, if the game is successful and collectors want to backtrack sets, they will have no other choice than to buy even these booster boxes without a plastic wrapper. And third, if being bought from a reputable seller, you can always reduce the risk of buying a tampered box. Now anyway, given the fact that there will be no boxes with a real seal, according to what Disney has confirmed, collectors will have no other choice than to accept this risk. Also, don't forget that these boxes don't only appeal to trading card game players and collectors, but also to the huge amount of Disney fans around the globe. However you turn it, this could perfectly turn out being a milestone item in the history of the Disney company. For sure if the game becomes a great success in the years to come. Also in the future we can have a lot of more appealing sets for all different types of collectors. That is of course the results of the different brands that are falling under the Walt Disney Company. Think about names as Star Wars, Marvel, the Chronicles of Narnia, the Pixar movies, Winnie the Pooh and of course also Indiana Jones. The possibilities Disney and Ravensburger are having going forward are gigantic, and I can perfectly see a Star Wars or Marvel themed set being highly popular. So far I've been pretty positive about the investment potential, but of course I'm also not blind for the risks, and you shouldn't too. I for sure would not go too deep in investing in Lorcana because of the simple fact that there are too much unknown factors. How big will the reprints turn out to be, how successful will the game be in the future, and so on. This being said, I choose to try to collect the master set of the first chapter, and I'm happy I own one of each item for my personal collection. I could see myself add some extra items when I have the chance and when the reprint hits Europe. Now in the meantime, I also hope to be able to buy the second chapter, but so far I found it extremely hard to find a dealer in Belgium or the Netherlands that can guarantee me just any item of Rise of the Floodborn. So that has to be continued. For collecting and or investing in a TCG goes that it can happen in different ways. You have the possibility to invest or collect sealed product, and it's possible to try to complete a full set or master set. Now lots of people expect the prices of the first cards of Lorcana to rise substantially as we move further into the future. A lot of times people refer for this to the first edition Pokemon cards. I'm very convinced that Lorcana will not follow the same path as, let's say, the first edition Charizard. This not only because of the fact that, besides the D23 promos, the cards don't have a first edition stamp on them. So as far as we know at this point, there will be not any difference between the cards that were in the first line of products and the ones that will be found in the reprints. We can expect the cards to be at least way more heavily printed in comparison to the first edition Shadowless Pokemon cards from base set. This being said, as a collector I enjoy collecting sets. I don't see a master set from Disney's Lorcana as a real investment, because well, it simply isn't. But that doesn't mean I think the cards will not hold any value. I just don't see them follow the same trends as the first edition base set of Pokemon had. This being said, I like going through my binder and look at the cards. Also, if the game ends up being really successful, I can always say that I've completed the very first set. But again, if you are purely looking at Lorcana as an investment, I'm convinced collecting a master set isn't worth the effort. In that case, I would always go for sealed product and perhaps maybe take a look at the D23 promos. Also, the enchanted rares could end up being a decent investment, but to be able to determine that, we will have to see how much of them will still be printed in the next coming weeks and months. Now, despite the fact that a lot of people still haven't had the possibility to purchase the first chapter, we will already be seeing the second release of Disney Lorcana in November. On the 17th of November, we normally will see the release of Rise of the Floodborn. Just like the first chapter, also the second one will be released first in selected shops and only after in the bigger retailers. They should be able to sell the product from the 1st of December. I'm very curious to see the supply that will be available from these products, and let's hope more people that actually want to buy the product are getting the chance to do that. As for the conclusion of this video, I have to say I'm excited to see what moves Disney's Lorcana is going to make in the world of trading card games. Despite what a lot of people are saying, I really don't think that we have to compare Lorcana to Pokemon. I also don't think that Lorcana will form a direct competitor to Pokemon. The only problem that I can see is for collectors that want to collect both TCGs, because probably the sets will be ending up being released very close to each other. Look at Rise of the Floodborn, which will be coming at the 17th of November, and that's only 2 weeks apart from Pokemon's brand new set Paradox Rift. Besides the fact that I think that the first chapter and other sets will have some collectability and investability potential, there are also certain things that deserve your attention. The reprints that are coming out could really affect the value of the products in the short term, and the fact that there is no real ceiling is for sure something to pay attention to. This being said, I still believe in the fact that this could be a milestone item within the history of Disney. If the company is able to get back on track and it can leave the demons of the past behind, I'm convinced that the first chapter will be a very sought after set. Does the set end up being printed into the ground, as some people expect? In that case, of course, it can take a much longer time for the items to appreciate. So keep in mind that just as with any other investable or collectible item, there is some risk attached to investing in the Lorcana products. Now this brings me to the end of this video. Did you enjoy this content and do you want to see more? Then please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I have a lot more content about collecting and investing on the way, not only about Lorcana but also about Pokemon, Lego investing and lots of different items and brands I collect and invest in. So I really hope to see you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.